जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपीजन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपीजन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपीजन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपीजन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनेति नामिने। Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 15, chapter is entitled The Yoga of the Supreme Person, text number 18. Yasmat Ksharam Atito Aham Aksharad Api Chottamaha Atosmi Loke Vede Cha Prathitaha Purushottamaha Yasmaksharam Atitoham Aksharadapi Chottamaha Atosmi Loke Vedecha Prathitah Purushottamaha Yasmaksharam Atitoham Aksharadapi Chottamaha Atosmi Loke Vedecha Prathitah Purushottamaha Yasmat Ksharam Atitoham Aksharadapi Chottamaha Atosmi Loke Vedecha Pratitha Purushottamaha. Anyone?
Yasmasharam atitoham
Yasmat sharam atitoham
Aksharadapi chotamaha
Aksharadapi chottamaha
Ato asmi loka vedecha
Atosmi loke vedecha
Prathita purushottama
Prathita purushottamaha
यस्मादक्षरम् अतीतोऽहम्
Yasmadaksharatītoham
अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः
Aksharadapi chottamaha
अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च
Atosmi loke vedecha
प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः
Patita Purushottamaha. Anyone else?
यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम्
Yasmat Sharamatitoham
अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः
Aksharadapi chottamaha
अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च
Atosmi loke vedecha
प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः
Prathita Purushottamaha.
यस्मात्क्षरम् अतीतोऽहम्
Yasmat ksharam atitoham
अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः
aksharaadapi chottamaha
अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च
atosmi loke vedecha
प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः
prathita purushottamaha. Anyone else would like to try? No? Yes? Okay.
यस्मादक्षरमतीतोऽहम्
Yasmadaksharamati
अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः
aksharaadapi chottamaha
अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च
atosmi loke vedecha
प्रतिताः पुरुषोत्तमः
prathita purushottamaha. Okay. So now we will see the word for word meaning. Yasmat, because. Ksharam, to the fallible. Atitaha, transcendental. Aham, I am. Aksharat, beyond the infallible. Api, also. Cha, and. Uttamaha, the best. Ataha, therefore. Asmi, I am. Loke, in the world. Vede, in the Vedic literature. Cha, and. Prathitaha, celebrated. Purusha Uttamaha, as the Supreme Personality. Translation: because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. It is a short purport, so today we are taking a shorter purport. So Srila Prabhupada says, no one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul. He is therefore the greatest of personalities. Now, it is clear here that the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are individuals. The difference is that the living entities, either in the conditioned state or in the liberated state, cannot surpass in quantity the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is incorrect to think of the Supreme Lord and the living entities as being on the same level or equal in all respects. There is always the question of superiority and inferiority between their personalities. The word Uttama is very significant. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So, Srila Prabhupada is stressing on the differences between the individual living entity and the Supreme Lord Krishna. And when he is pointing out these qualities, these individual qualities of the soul and the Supreme Soul, he is actually quoting Krishna himself, because this is Krishna speaking. Asmi is an important word. Can we go to the word for word meaning? Asmi. What does Asmi mean? I am. Correct? So he says, I am. Krishna says personally that he is. And who is he? Purusha Uttamaha, the Supreme Personality. So it is Krishna himself who is explaining that he is the best of all the living entities. So it clearly indicates that there are the other living entities on one side and there is he on the other side. Just by saying Purushottamaha, Asmi Purushottamaha, I am the Supreme Person. So what about the others? They are not the Supreme Person. So who are they? They are persons who are not the Supreme Person. So go figure it out. This is Jnana, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, the 15th chapter. Yes? So this is Jnana again. As some thinkers have classified the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita into Karma, Bhakti, Jnana. So we need to apply our intelligence here. Our intelligence has been purified by hearing about Krishna's characteristics and hearing about pure devotional service. Now, this purified intelligence has to be applied to have practical realization. That is why there is Jnana. Hence, Srila Prabhupada dedicates an entire paragraph to once again state, or rather reinstate, the concept that Krishna is the supreme living entity and all the other living entities are individual souls. They are persons of importance but not as highly important as Krishna is. When we say all the living entities are ordinary living entities, does not mean that we are second class. Yes? Just as if you have a room full of kings and there is an emperor too. So do you look at all the other kings and say they are ordinary kings? This is the emperor. So when the word ordinary is used for the living entities, it is not to belittle them. One should understand the difference, the duality that is there. There is the superior person and there is the inferior person. Just because the living entities are the inferior person doesn't mean that they should have an inferiority complex. That is a problem. That is why everyone feels hurt. Why only he gets to be God? Because they feel that they are being demeaned. Everyone feels that means we are not anyone. We have no significance. I'm working 9 to 5 every single day. What does he get to do? Does he have to apply to Google, Intel? I have to prepare for interviews. I have to take care of the house, and here I am also taking so many responsibilities at the temple. What does he get to do? He simply plays the flute. So when we hear that all the rest are ordinary living entities, because of this huge expectation that everyone has of themselves, this high aspiration that we have of ourselves, that gets crushed. Feeling that the word ordinary relegates us to something insignificant. But now, that is not how we should understand it. We are spiritual sparks. We are eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. In comparison to Krishna, we are secondary. Otherwise, we are quite glorious because we are part and parcels of Krishna. And where is the glory coming from? It's coming from Krishna. Just imagine if Krishna were to introduce himself. Alright, so I am Krishna and these are all my expansions and they are ordinary living entities. How would it appear to the others who are hearing from Krishna about his greatness? That I am great and everyone else is ordinary. A great person also has great attributes. A great person also has greatness in whatever they do, whatever they are connected to. And since the living entities are part and parcels of Krishna, there is greatness even in the living entities. It is borrowed greatness, nonetheless, there is greatness. Hence, we should never ever feel that our existence has no meaning. Our existence is very meaningful. In the beautiful purport in the 9th canto, where it is explained, where Srila Prabhupada is throwing light on Lord Vishnu's conversation with Durvasa Muni. Lord Narayan is having a conversation with Durvasa Muni. And Srila Prabhupada says, because Krishna already has so many servants in the spiritual world who are so happily serving him. But he comes to this material world because he wants to expand. He wants to have more people join the fun. It's not that he lacks in being served. I mean, if unemployment would exist in the spiritual world, then many of the goddesses of fortune would be unemployed. Because they all want to broom the street, but practically there are so many of them that not all of them get a chance to sweep the street along which Krishna's chariot would pass. They are all eager to serve Krishna. They want to sweep the street along which his chariot would pass. But there's only one street. And let's imagine if since this is a spiritual world, so we would think it is an unending street. Does it mean that Krishna would go on unending on the street? No, for the sake of Krishna's pastime, it is a finite street. Otherwise, Krishna can go on always riding his chariot and the street would go on expanding and expanding and expanding. So for the sake of his pastime, to be able to connect with his devotees, the street has a finite length. It goes from his palace to the Sabha Graha, to the king's court. But there is no unemployment in the spiritual world. No one in the spiritual world is kind of carrying placards, Hamari mange puri karo. They are all very successfully employed in serving Krishna, and still they feel that they have not been able to serve him. So the living entity is indeed great. Hence, the Upanishads describe the living entity as being great. Still, in comparison to Krishna, Krishna is like the sun, and the living entities are like the rays of the sun, glorious. However, in front of the sun, they are infinitesimally small. So, one must have confidence in one's existence as the Atma. We are eternal. Nainam chindanti shastrani. Nothing can disturb us. There is no situation that can end our existence. It is not possible. Sometimes the day is coming to an end and we are like really anxious because there's so much work piled up. In the morning we are like, yeah, it's a busy day. By afternoon you are like, I still have a lot of work to do. By evening you're really frantic because there's so much work still, and at night you just give up. At night, like, forget it. I'm just an infinitesimally small living entity. Yes. So that has affected our confidence as being eternal beings. We kind of always wonder, what is this eternal being? How can I be eternal when by the end of the day I'm so very anxious and frantic? So only in lectures, when it is our turn to give the lecture, then we say we are all eternal. Otherwise we are always somehow or the other we need to boost ourselves to realize that actually we are spirit soul, we are not just body. So tomorrow will be fine. It's not in frustration, but in confidence we say that tomorrow will be fine. That is what Sri Krishna, he describes in the 6th chapter, the Sthita Pragyas. Tomorrow will be fine. Somebody who's a Sthita Pragya does not go at the end of the day, oh my God, I haven't finished, so much of my work is still pending. Forget it. Now whatever happens, happens. So here we are. The kind of lifestyle we lead, the experiences that we have in this material world, and constantly when we hear that we are ordinary living entities, it kind of dents our confidence. Hence, it's a very helpful meditation to see ourselves situated as dust particles at the lotus feet of Krishna. The dust particles on the lotus feet of Krishna are not ordinary. Are they ordinary? So we are always praying, Krishna, please keep us as a dust particle at your lotus feet. Isn't it? Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. Kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadrisham. Please keep me as a dust particle at your lotus feet. So that means we owe ourselves to have that kind of confidence. We owe it to ourselves as spirit souls. And when we have that confidence that we are eternal, we are special in the sense that we can submit ourselves as a dust particle at Krishna's lotus feet. We inherently have that qualification. We just need to realize it, that is it. It becomes much more easier to serve Krishna. Devotional service is no longer a chore. It is no longer a burden. Yes? Somebody glorifies us, and then a part of their glorification is that we have to carry extra baggage for them. Oh, you are always so helpful. This Prabhu or this Mataji, wow. Every time you see they are helping others. Now once you've heard all of that, you're like, no, let me do it. And although it's really heavy, you're like, just this one time, I'll just get it done. And they ask you, is it really heavy? No, maybe a little bit, but I'm all right. But I'm all right, yes? So it's no longer a burden now. Because we feel glorified. Now that is different. That is not false ego here. It's just that we want to help another person and we go beyond our means because it feels nice to hear someone glorifying us. Maybe there's some sincerity in that. So this is the glory of the spirit soul. As spirit soul, we should always relish the fact that we are part and parcels of Krishna. Just imagine. Just imagine being part and parcels of Krishna. Really sometimes you should kind of imagine that. If there are a lot of $100 bills with you and you imagine yourself being one of that, now you have value. If there's gold and you identify with the gold, like the king who wanted to turn everything gold, everything that he touched, King Midas. So now there is value. It is for such valuable people that Krishna comes to this material world to save them. So when the word ordinary is used, Hare Krishna, that word has to be understood carefully. It is not meant to demean anyone. It is just kind of explaining that, like mangoes in India, there are different kinds, but there is the Alfonso. If you have the Alfonso, are you going to say, no, I don't want the other mangoes? Who does that in India? No one does that. Yes. So Krishna is the Alfonso. We are the other mangoes. Krishna is the emperor and we are subordinate kings. Yes? So Purusha Uttama. Purusha Uttama means that. Purusha Uttama means he is the best of the living entities. They are the other living entities that are good, that are the best too, but he is the best of the best. So Asmi Now, interesting, is it possible we can go to the previous verses? This is the 18th verse. Let's go to the 16th, 17th, 15th also will do. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgiveness. So who's that within the heart? Who's the person that is situated within the heart? Krishna. And what is the technical name for that form of Krishna? The Paramatma. So the localized feature is being explained, right? So here, for a couple of verses, we'll see that Krishna is explaining his localized feature as Paramatma. 15, 16, 17. In 16, he explains who the living entities are. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. What is the import of that? What do you feel when you hear that statement? Any comments? Verse 16. Yeah. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible or infallible.
So here in material world there is a cycle of birth and death, so living entity has to come back. Spiritual world, once you go, you don't have to, like, there is no death there. So they are eternal.
So in the spiritual world, eternal. In the material world, because you are subjected to birth and death, therefore they are fallible. Anything else? Thank you for that comment.
So by this,
any other thoughts? If you can just say that you agree with that or give.
Yeah. So from this, I understand the spiritual world, like people who are there, they don't commit mistakes. They know what they're supposed to do.
In the spiritual world, people don't commit mistakes. They know what they have to do. Therefore, they do not fall down. Okay. Thank you. Can we have him, and then you can comment.
In the material world, we are pulled by the material modes of nature. Sometimes we are in mode of goodness, passion, sometimes in ignorance. In spiritual world, everyone is in pure goodness, transcendental to the modes of material nature.
So the modes of material nature work here, and they kind of pull us towards different distractions. That is true. And in the spiritual world, it is pure, the pure state of existence, so it is pure goodness. Thank you. Yes, one more comment.
In material world, there is everything is uncertain, happiness, fortune, everything will fall, and there is no certainty that they will exist. Whereas in spiritual world, there is only like bliss, happiness, and pure. Like right now, we are all covered by this ignorance. Whereas in spiritual world, that mask is removed, and we are all back to the same glorious souls that we are engaged in always devotional service in the spiritual world.
Perfect. So in the spiritual world, we are free, we are glorious, and in the material world, we are covered by ignorance. And thank you. Yes, bro.
In material world, although in the previous verse, Lord Krishna is saying that he exists in everyone's heart and all the knowledge came from him.
Mm-hmm.
In material world, the living entities don't realize that. They just are governed by the material modes of nature. They are under illusion. In spiritual world, they know that fact, and they are not governed by the material illusion.
Right. In the spiritual world, there is complete awareness. In the material world, it comes from, the awareness does come from Krishna within the heart, the Paramatma within the heart. But we choose to be either aware of it or unaware of it. Perfect. Let me ask a question now. Thank you for all your responses. It's very enlightening. All those responses are very enlightening. It's about the infallible spiritual world and the fallible material world. So are we fallible or infallible? Are we fallible or infallible? Depending on where we are. So those who are for fallible, please raise your hands. Oh, wow. Infallible, please raise your hands. Show of hands. 1. There were a couple of more voices, infallible. What happened? Not sure. Okay. Next question is, let's suppose that we are infallible. Then where should we be? Because we are infallible, where should we actually be? In the spiritual world, right? If we are infallible, we should be in the spiritual world. Then why are we wasting our time here? Correct? Now you know that Prasadam is there in that room, so why are we sitting here? Doesn't make sense. We go there because Prasad is there. True? So if we are infallible, then we have to be in the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. So let's not waste time. Let's suppose we are fallible. Then how do we become infallible? By going to the spiritual world. So why are we wasting our time here? We've not... Okay. I've not been invited there as it. So if we are fallible and we want to be infallible, then the way to do it is to go to the spiritual world. And if we are infallible, then we must go to the spiritual world, because the spiritual world is the world of the infallible. Would it be how many takers for being fallible always? I always want to be fallible. How many takers for being infallible? How many people would want to be infallible? So there we need to go to the spiritual world as early as possible. Isn't ASAP? Right? Now, isn't that a good thought for chanting tomorrow morning? So right, there it is. Besides these two, verse 18. 17. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul. So who is being described here? The imperishable Lord himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Who is being described here? What form of? It's a Paramatma feature. Look, it's again the localized form. Yes? So there is Krishna's all-pervading form, there is Krishna's localized form. So the all-pervading form has been described prior to 15. Now this is the localized forms of Krishna that is being described. Right? Now, if you notice the words, especially the English translation, but even if you go to the Sanskrit, none of the references is in first person. It is always in third person. There is that, there is this, besides that, there is another. Yes? Notice that. So Krishna is saying there is this, there is that, there is another, all of that. And now when we come to verse 18, what does he say? Asmi. So can you see Krishna is describing the three features in which one has God realization? Isn't it? And how clearly he says that he is the source of the Paramatma, he is the source of the Brahman, and he is himself the source of everything. Right? So now question for all of us is, are these three forms different or same? Who's the Achintya Bheda Ved here? Who's that? Could you please? Okay, there's one who says both. The question is, these three features of Krishna, are they same or are they different? So the one is, answer is both. I forgot to give that option. They are different, A, B, they are the same, and C, all of the above. Anyone else? Many times I have seen that different devotees have different ideas about whether it is same or different. Like somebody says both. If you look at it from this direction, it looks like a mango. From that direction, it looks like an orange. It's both. Isn't it? It's like a diamond. If you know the value of the diamond, it's a diamond. Otherwise, it's glass. Piece of glass. So what do you think? Let us have some thoughts, and let us also, if you want to elaborate on it for a few minutes, let us do that. And the reason I want to do that is because it's 7:10 and I'm almost finished my lecture. So I want to extend it till at least 20 more minutes. No, not really. Yes, there is a reason for it. That is why we are having this discussion. Is the Brahman feature different from the Paramatma feature, different from the Bhagavan feature? Are they actually the same person?
So the example given is that in the Bhagavatam is that, like Prabhupada says that like there's a sun planet, has like a sun god, the sun planet, and the sun rays, which are different aspects of the same thing, but it is perceived differently by different people. But I know that it is the same thing, but it's based upon our intelligence or our requirement, we perceive it differently.
So, based upon our perception, it is different for different people. What does that mean?
Depends upon our realization.
Depends upon our realization. Good. Yes. Where is it leading to? Is it just going to be some discussion in the room, or do you think we can take some points that can be applied in our lives? Some, what is it called as takeaway, take home? Nice. I'm very, kind of answered it. So let us go along with that thought process. It is perceived differently by different people. Sometimes people think sun rays is important, therefore they perceive the sun to be like sun rays. Somebody else perceives it like to be a ball of fire or just a planet. And someone else can perceive that there is a sun god too. Yes, please.
So, his Brahman feature is, Brahman is sometimes described as the existence, basically. We see things exist. And that is like the Krishna's sometimes described as Krishna's bodily rays, the Brahma Jyoti,
Mhm.
basically, which is the cause of this existence of Brahman. It comes from Krishna.
Mhm.
It is almost like thinking like a president of a country, and then he makes laws, and then he himself doesn't exist everywhere, but then he exists. He kind of influences things happening through the laws. So in that indirect way, he's there. But president is like a person, and then the super soul aspect will be like, if someone wants to go deeper in thinking how this existence is really working. I mean, what is that consciousness behind that? He once does yoga and then goes deeper and deeper, then he finds that it's all ultimately controlled by the super soul aspect. So there is a supreme consciousness or super soul which is controlling this existence.
Okay.
And then Krishna in Bhagavad Gita somewhere is saying that, although I am present in every living entity, never think I am divided. I am still that one.
Okay.
And so he is actually talking about that supreme person, that he's supreme person and his reflection as super soul exists everywhere and controlling everything, but he still is a separate person. He exists as a separate person. So the super soul and the Brahman, they are like different aspects of him which gives the existence that is the Brahman, and the controller aspect of the existence which is super soul, but he is still a separate person.
Wonderful answer. Thank you. I saved a lot of energy by letting you do the speaking. You had a hand up, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Well, devotee is the only one who is realized all the three aspects. He is in full knowledge. And he is looking for all the rest of the two, which is emanating from the Bhagwan feature. Whereas the Jnani is only after the Paramatma feature. Whereas Dhyani is always for the Brahman. And devotee has realized all these three, but Brahman and Paramatma is emanating from the Bhagavan. And the infallibles, only option is to serve the Krishna. Whereas Jnani, they want to get some spiritual powers. They are doing it for themselves. Dhyanis also, they want to merge in the Brahman.
True.
They want to get away from all the problems. Whereas devotee, they don't want to get away. They want to do everything for the Krishna. They want to serve eternally the Krishna. And devotee is the only in full knowledge.
So devotee has the complete knowledge of how Krishna exists in these three features.
All the three features.
All the three
Whereas
features.
other twos, they are only stuck with the one feature.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is very helpful, because now it kind of explains, or it kind of makes it a little more relevant what I'm going to share. The practitioners, the practices that a practitioner has, the sadhana, and the goal that a practitioner has. What is the desire? What is the goal of that practice? It defines in one way how the same Krishna is going to be available, is going to be realized by that person. Let's say I always would want to do things that are not according to my dad's desire. He says, sit here, so I'll go and sit there. So what form of my father am I going to see? What form or feature of my father would I see? Does that mean my dad is always angry? So why is that aspect of my father seen? Because that is what I'm drawing from my father. That is what I'm wanting to get from my father, although consciously or unconsciously. Correct? Now, that form kind of makes me aware of my father's existence even in other situations. Like, my father may not be at home, but when it is time for my father to come home, I immediately become aware of his existence. Oh, he's coming. Everything should be in proper place. Yes? So you see the all-pervasive nature, existence of my father? You see the localized aspect of my father? As soon as dad is sitting, he says, son, come here, you're ready. There's going to be some nice one-way conversation. Yeah? Now let's say I am sick. Let's say I fall sick or I have some kind of sickness. I'm not able to do the things that my father would want me to do or he tells me to do. Now what is the form of the father that comes forth? And what else? Is it just an emotion? Or is there going to be some physical contact or association too? Would I feel my father coming up to me and holding me up, helping me doing things? So there's going to be compassion. Sometimes there's going to be frustration on his part. When again and again he helps me try to get a thing done and I'm not able to grasp it, a little frustration. A lot of emotions are going to be manifested in closeness to my father. So in all the three aspects, my father is the same. In the first aspect where I'm trying to be just truant, I just want to do things that will make my father angry, whether I'm conscious of it or I'm not aware of it. My father is the same. He exists. But his existence to me is only in terms of now he's coming back. Sometimes you give names to, no? If you have your dad's number on your phone, then you have a special name for dad. It won't be dad, it would be something else. Anger, scolding, you store your name like that. I'm trying to use civilized words for very severe emotions. There could be certain uncivilized words also that would be used. So see how pervasive is his existence. He exists. He is there. It is not that my father passes away and still after that I'm imagining he's going to come. He's still alive. So the Brahman feature doesn't mean that God is detached from that. It is just his energy. Because that in that case, we feel like, yeah, he is somewhere there and his energy is somewhere here. His existence is still there. Therefore, these features are all eternal features of Krishna. So in the spiritual world, only one feature will manifest, Bhagavan feature. Why is that? Because in the spiritual world, every single entity is trying to have just one relationship with Krishna. The relationship of a Bhagwan and a Bhakta. Master and a servant. But in the material world, people may have different goals, and for that they practice different sadhana. So if the goal is liberation, then the sadhana of Jnana and Yoga makes one see the Brahman and the Paramatma feature. However, if the sadhana is bhakti, then one sees the Bhagwan feature of the Lord. So this is very important. Bhakti is not just what you do. Bhakti is what you feel when you do that. Jnana and Yoga could be just your actions without your feelings. Could be like that. Because feelings of compassion, feelings of feeling pain for others, those things the Jnani would want to detach oneself from that. A yogi would want to detach oneself from that. So there is the possibility of action. Feelings may not be involved. Bhakti is a process where there is action along with feelings. And if it is action without feelings, then what path are we following? Technically speaking. Yes? What is the path we are following then? Jnana and Yoga, there could be action without feelings. Bhakti is action with feelings. Now, if we are practicing bhakti, we are doing the actions, that technically falls under bhakti yoga, and there are no feelings, then what are we practicing? Either Gyan or Dhyan. Now you see why liberation seems to be such an important destination for all of us, like 16 rounds done, liberation. Seva in the kitchen done, liberation. Book distribution done, liberation. Today I have to distribute 10 books, 15 books, 20 books, whatever it is. So as we go on practicing our sadhana, we may have to also see that we let those feelings stay with us. Because the process itself is a process where there has to be some feelings, there has to be emotions. Oh, this is Krishna. Like the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describes, Daruka is fanning Krishna in Dwarka, and just by seeing Krishna, there are tears in his eyes. And then he tries to stop his tears. Why? Because it is interfering with his service. Now here we are trying to have tears in eyes. So when we read such things, immediately our emotions come forth. Oh Krishna, today I have to have tears when I see you. But where is the action for that? The feelings are there. Where is the action for it? Or the action is there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Where are the feelings? So what do? Therefore, as much as possible, we must try and practice our sadhana in the association of self-realized souls. Dhyan and Gyan are processes of seclusion. But in Kali Yuga specifically, bhakti is a process of association, of process practiced by being in association. So that influences us. So whenever and wherever possible, a question can be asked. But then we see that some very advanced souls, they practice in seclusion. The answer is they don't practice in seclusion. They are associating with people that we cannot see. Like sometimes the disciples are saying that Guru Maharaj, like Raghunath Das Goswami or Shyamanand Pandit, they are sitting in meditation, deep in meditation, but they are not there. They are serving along with other self-realized souls. They are serving in the spiritual world. So externally what we see is them being in seclusion. Internally where they are is in deep association of self-realized souls. This is why one has to seek the association of advanced devotees. There's sometimes a confusion. Living guru or past guru. At least with a guru or a spiritual master, we are at least convinced that the guru is, I may be in grade 9, but at least our guru should be in grade 10. Advanced. A living guru is helpful. Very practical. Otherwise, where are we going to have emotions come along with our action? Yes? Now, with this understanding, we'll come back to the Sanskrit in our verse today. Can I go to the Sanskrit, please? The verse. Yasmat ksharam atitoham aksharat api chottamaha. Yasmat. What does Krishna say? What does it mean, yasmat? You've heard of tasmat? Yasmat? Dash dash dash. Tasmat dash dash dash. So what does tasmat mean? Therefore. So what would yasmat mean? Yes, it has to be an explanation for the conclusion. Yes? So because. That is why the English word uses because. Yasmat means something is being explained in detail. So all that was in the past, the super soul, the all-pervading nature, the fallible souls and the infallible souls, yasmat, because kshara and akshara, two words are used. So Krishna is going to say that because I am beyond the kshara and akshara, and we'll come to these two words also, kshara and akshara. I am beyond these two. I am Purushottama. And how does Srila Prabhupada, how does he explain it in the first paragraph? Can we go to the first paragraph? This is what Srila Prabhupada explained. Can we go to the first para, please? Yes, the first line. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul. It's amazing. Very nice. So, Kshara and Akshara. These two words. What does Kshara mean? You've heard of Kshay, Akshay. Akshay what? Akshay Patra. Kshay. You know what is Kshay? Kshay means finished. So here, Akshara. Ksha. See, the alphabet's also called as Akshara. You know why? Because the alphabets are from A to Ksha. That is why they are called as Akshara. That which you learn from A, the beginning, to Ksha, the end. Alright? So A is always the beginning. Any word, the spoken word, that which you think, always has A in it. It is the beginning. Like Ma is with A in it. Ma has now A. Another A added. So A plus A means A. So that is the beginning. And Kha means the end. So Khara means here that which ends, that which dies. So see, where is Kshara? To the fallible. So Kshara here means not just the fallible souls, it also means, therefore this is not just referring to the previous verse. It also means the material world which is fallible. So if we just consider Kshara to be the fallible souls, then Akshara is the infallible souls. Therefore Krishna is Atita. Atita means beyond. To be under means Tita. Atita means to be beyond. Like Samatita. Samatita means everyone is equal. Everyone is under the banner of equality. Yes? So Krishna is beyond the fallible and infallible souls. That is understood. Now, if Kshara means the material world, what would Akshara mean? How does it make sense? Just think about it. What is beyond the material world? A is the beginning. So if Kshara is the material world, what is the Akshara? Origin, not the original. So the source of the material world, the origin of the material world, the creating principle. So Krishna says, I am beyond the creating principle also. This is where the Jnanis have to understand what Krishna is saying. He is beyond the creation and he is beyond the creating principle also. He is the source of both. The Jnanis think that he is the creating principle. And therefore they think that he is formless. So Akshara here means, if Kshara means the material world, then Akshara means the seed of this, the creation of the material world. If the material world is like a tree, then Akshara is a seed that gives rise to the tree. So Krishna is beyond the material and the spiritual. Therefore, he is a source of everything. The source of the spiritual and the source of the material too. Okay, now we'll go to the remaining two paragraphs that Srila Prabhupada is explaining. Can we have that? Let us read to the remaining. The word loke signifies, this is also very technical and nice. What does loke signify? Word for word meaning, Prabhu, please. Can we go to the word for word meaning? And then we'll come back to this purport. Loke. What is loke? And I think it is Greek. The Greek god Loki. So what is the Greek god Loki is, I don't know, or maybe he's the control, he has some control over this material world, I guess. Loke. Loke has been, what is the word for word meaning? In the world, right? Now let us come to another understanding, another perception in the purport. So now, please remember that Loke here in the word for word meaning is in the world. Yes. So in this world, Krishna is saying, I am the greatest beyond the fallible and the infallible in this world, right? The word Loke signifies, where does it signify? In the Paurusha Agama. So there is the scriptures, which is called as the Purusha Agamas. Just as there are scriptures called as the Bhagavatam. Yes? Puranas. So there are Paurusha Agamas. Also, they are called as a Smriti scriptures. Puranas, Itihasas, like that. Kavyas. So as confirmed in the Nirupti dictionary, which is basically a dictionary, Lokyate Vedartho Nena. Vedartho Nena. Lokyate Veda Artha Nena. The purpose of the Vedas is explained by the Smriti scriptures. What does this mean? Vedas are meant for this material world. Very nice, yes. Loke Vede. How does it go? Can we go to the verse? Atosmi loke vedecha prathita purushottamaha. Yes. The purpose of the Vedas, translation, purport please, yes. The purpose of the Vedas is explained by the Smriti scriptures. Alright. So here, because Loke Vede, this is how Krishna is speaking it. What it means is that Loke is the Puranas, the Smriti scriptures. The Puranas are going to explain what the Vedas mean. Okay? So, Atosmi Loke Vede Cha would mean what the Vedas or the purpose of the Vedas are will be explained by the Smriti scriptures, which is that I am beyond the fallible and the infallible. That is what the Purusha Agamas, taking reference of the Purusha Agamas, this point is being put forth. So, Loke Vedecha literally would mean in this world, and another perception or another understanding of it is that The Vedas are explained by the Puranas as to who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. The purpose of the Vedas is explained by the Smriti literatures. So, Loke. Veda is Shruti. Shruti is eternal. Therefore, it is from the spiritual world. Smriti is in this world. You get the understanding? Smriti is in this world. Therefore, Loke is referring to the Smritis when Loke is followed by Vede. For the Vedas, Loka. So if you take Vede as to know or understand, then Loke would mean in this world. If you take Veda as Veda or knowledge, then Loke means Smriti. Yes? Sometimes when we read this, generally this verse is not really very much popular, I guess, amongst the devotee circle anyways. And when we read this explanation in the translation, Ayaram Gayaram. Yes, something was explained, Lokyate Vedarthonena. Very technical. But what it means basically, Prabhu, is that the purpose of the Vedas is explained by the Smriti scriptures. Did you understand, Mataji? So, if Vede is the Vedas, then Loke means the Vedas are explained by the Smritis only. Definitely, certainly. Loke Vedecha. So this is the commentary that is given by a Vaishnavacharyas. Only Vaishnavacharyas, they also have this perception like that. The final paragraph. The Supreme Lord, yes, Prabhu. Is it a question? Yes. Can I just finish this off and then we'll come back to it? Is it all right? Yeah, just read this. The Supreme Lord in his localized aspect of Paramatma is also described in the Vedas themselves. The following verse appears in the Vedas, Chandogya Upanishad 8.12.3. Tavad esha samprasado smakcharita charirat samuthaya param jyotirupam sampadhyasvena rupena bhinispadyate sa uttama purushaha. The super soul coming out of the body enters the impersonal Brahma Jyotir, then in his form he remains in his spiritual identity. That Supreme is called the Supreme Personality. This means that the Supreme Personality is exhibiting and diffusing his spiritual effulgence, which is the ultimate illumination. That Supreme Personality also has a localized aspect as Paramatma. By incarnating himself as the son of Satyavati and Parashar, he explains the Vedic knowledge as Vyasadeva. So the incarnation, the Paramatma and the localized aspect has been explained. Okay. Please try to read this on your own, which means that I basically have not prepared on this paragraph, which is also not true. I have, but it's 10 minutes to 8. So please read this, where from the Vedas, the Chandogya Upanishads are sometimes considered to be Shruti. By many philosophers consider the Upanishads to be Shruti. There are some that still considered to be Smriti. There are some. Because most of the Upanishads are spoken by somebody to someone else. So then they say that it is Smriti because it is in this world. Whereas the Vedas, the Atharva and that came along with creation, sound vibration. So the Chandogya Upanishad describes the three aspects. First aspect is the localized Paramatma coming out of the body of the Virat Rupa, or the Virat form, which could be Mahavishnu, Sankarshan. So when we say out of the body, what basically it means is that it is an expansion. The Paramatma he's an expansion. And then there is a diffused presence of the Lord everywhere too. And that is the Brahman effulgence. So it enters into the Brahma Jyoti. The super soul coming out of the body enters the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Then in his form he remains in his spiritual identity. Then that does not get diffused. The super soul does not get diffused into the Brahma Jyoti, so maintains his identity, therefore localized. That supreme is called the Supreme Personality. Which supreme? Not the super soul, not even the diffused, the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. That from which these come is the Supreme Personality. So this is the Chandogya Upanishad. Otherwise, reading the English, we may feel that that supreme was describing the one that comes out of the body. Now, that supreme is indicating the person from whom the super soul emanates, the super soul expands. Yes, so now we'll stop here, and first we'll take your questions and any reflections or comments.
My question was in the previous paragraph. Is it in the loke, do they mean this when this is Smriti scriptures or Puran? Are they talking about all the Purans, or are they talking about that specific Paurusha, Agama?
See, Agamas are scriptures. Paurusha Agamas mean scriptures which describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so they are all the Smritis.
So all the Smritis.
So, I mean, when you read this purport, I didn't understand the context of the Chandogya Upanishad with the entire verse. What is the relevance of that section here? Like, when Prabhupada explains that super soul comes out of the Virat Rupa and stays in the Brahma Jyoti, what is he trying to say here?
That is connected to the last sentence here. That Supreme Personality also has a localized aspect as Paramatma. By incarnating himself as a son of Satyavati and Parashar, he explains the Vedic knowledge as Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva gave he compiled the Vedas in the written form. He oversaw that. And then he also gave the Puranas. So if we want to understand Krishna, then it is from the Vedas. And the further light, or it is more clarity of that which is explained in the Vedas, is given by the Puranas. So what Krishna is saying here is, this Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad is saying about the three aspects of Krishna, right? But the previous is the Smriti, the Paurusha Agama. It's a Smriti verse. That is explaining that Krishna is the source of the material and the spiritual too. Kshara, Akshara. And not only source, but he is beyond them, Atita. This is what the Vedas will describe. To understand it, to have more clarity on it, the Puranas help you. The Smritis help you. Hence Krishna says, Loke Vedecha. When he says, how does the verse begin, please, once again? Yasmat Sharam Atitoham Aksharat Apichottama. So that is explained by the Vedas with clarity from the Puranas. What? Kshara and Akshara. Kshara being the material world, Akshara being the creating principle, that is spiritual. This is explained in the Veda. The technical aspect of it is more elaborately described in the Puranas, in the Smriti scriptures. So Smriti scriptures are very important too. And hence, Vyasadeva gave us both as an incarnation. Is it all right? Now the connection? Any other reflection or question? Yes, Krish.
Thank you very much for the class, Prabhu. It was very enlightening.
You're
I had
welcome.
one question regarding. So you had told that to inculcate feelings of Krishna, apart from just doing action without any feeling, like the best way to do it is get advanced devotee association. Are there other things that one can do on the day-to-day life to enhance the feelings or increase the feelings?
Day-to-day life, can we do, what are certain tips that we could use? The information on WhatsApp and social media is not enough, I guess. Scriptures and scriptural realization is very much enhanced when we try to practice our sadhana in the association of more advanced souls, if possible self-realized souls. There's no question of if and when. That is why we describe about what is the process we are following. Yes, our process involves action with feelings. Now, Jnani and Yogi, they depend a lot on techniques. Because one is a very technical, mechanical process, and the other is also a technical, discriminative process. It is only that. In bhakti, there are these aspects. So feelings do not arise. How do you know how you have to treat someone unless and until you see your parents doing the same? You know that thing that went viral? Children see, children do. Have you seen that clip? A child sees someone abusing another person, then the child learns to abuse. It could be at home. Yes, domestic violence. Let's say a husband is very abusive towards the wife, then a child also feels that, yeah, it's all right to be abusive towards the mother. Grows up like that. So, on the other hand, if a child sees that a father is, the man of the house is very considerate towards the lady of the house, then the child would also treat the lady of the house like that. So we learn, we kind of absorb feelings, we kind of, we accept feelings and emotions through association of what we see, what we experience through that. Like everyone from India, how many of you all grew up in India? Please raise up your hands. Grew up in India? How is it that you appreciate American football now and not cricket? No, don't. How is it? Because here it's the craze. Everyone is like this. Did you see the match yesterday? The Steelers versus Yankees. I hope it's the same game that I'm speaking of. Everyone's talking then you also get into the mood, and then you also get the feeling, and then you're sitting on the couch and you're watching those games. Hey, India's playing Australia cricket match. No. Pittsburgh team is playing the Los Angeles team or something like that. Focused on it. Because that is what you saw, that is what you accepted, that is how you react. So the most important thing to do is to seek the association of advanced devotees, if possible, self-realized souls. Whenever. That should be. Then you can use all the techniques that are commonly seen even amongst the jnanis and the yogis. The techniques themselves will not give rise to those feelings. Yeah? When Gopakumar, this is in the Brihad Bhagavatamrit, he traveled all over the place, and finally when he came to Giriraj, again back to the very place where he started his journey from, when he was in Golok, Vrinda and Giriraj, when he saw the devotees there express their emotions to Krishna, then he realized, this is what I was looking for. And when he was traveling all over the universe, he saw so many other devotees couldn't relate as much to those emotions. He said, yeah, this is good, I'm happy right now. But after some time he felt, no, I have to move on. Okay? So association. We'll stop here. Time for Aarti. Any other questions or reflections? Please, you can ask me on a personal level. Alright? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Hare Krishna.